Welcome, everybody, to the Women's Soccer Show. Episode 7, big pause. Episode 7, final episode of the Olympic coverage after the finals and the bronze medal game. I should introduce myself. I'm Sarah.
I'm Helen, and we've had really good feedback about this little mini-series, haven't we, Sarah?
Yeah, we really have. People have been loving it. I've been loving recording it.
I think people think that we are just like off air, like, ugh, Sarah, ugh, Helen, because we always just end up going for it on episodes. Then what they don't realise is we finish and we're like, anyway, what are you up to at the weekend? Everyone must think like, whoa, the tension at the Woso Show HQ must be rife, but we just literally go for it. We don't care. We don't care. And can I just remind everyone at home, we're all here because we like women's football. But reminder, it's just football. Like, it's just a little game that we play with a ball. Like, the only thing Sarah realistically could get angry at me for is, say, like, following a Twitter page that had written hate about her and then retweeting that Twitter page. Oh Carly Lloyd!
You're just going to bring it back
Too
into
soon.
that.
I always have to. It always comes full circle. I'm like Shakespeare.
I got a text from my friend yesterday because she's a game behind. She's watching it on delay. So she just watched the USA-Canada game yesterday and then listened to our episode. And she was like, I paused it when you and Helen were in the middle of a heated debate. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, I was like, uh-oh, why did you pause it? Did it get too intense? Like, why'd you pause it? And she was like, oh no, I just had to run. I just had to pause. I just had to run for a second. I'm going to listen to the rest of it. And I was like, oh, okay, phew. Because I was like, I hope people don't think that we're actually like yelling at each other.
I love it. Anyway, this is it. This is it.
We have no more games in the Olympics to watch. How sad. I'll probably go back and rewatch some. Are you going to rewatch any?
No, because it's been the worst tournament ever because I've literally been depressed for like a week now. No, I'm really kidding.
Let's dive straight in. Gold medal match. Well, first of all, to all of you who were able to catch this match at the correct time, it got moved. Let's talk quickly about it being moved. Apparently there was like a weather problem. This is really not that. I just realized that we're talking about the weather. Helen's face is like so disinterested. She's like, what the fuck?
If I was listening to this podcast, I'd pause right now and I'd go, what is she?
Okay,
what is this lady talking about?
Somehow we've hit a mode where like I'm in a little bit of a sugar high. Helen's in a weird mood after taking photos of her cat for so long.
That was not supposed to go on air. That was between me and you.
That's private information for everybody wondering what we talk about.
Non-podcast information.
For everybody wondering what we talk about when we're not on recording talking about soccer.
Yes.
That's what we talk about.
I take selfies of
Helen's
my cat
like,
today.
I found a lovely angle of photos for my cat. Do you want to see this lovely angle? Look at how good my cat looks. Donna.
I hate you so much right now.
Donna.
Okay. So Sweden versus Canada was a 1-1 draw all the way through to extra time. And then Canada took it on penalties. Oh, my goodness.
This was absolutely wild. So much ebb and flow to this game. Sweden, I would say, and from my opinion, were in control for the majority of the first half of the game and pretty much up through their goal. There was a moment in the second half where you and I, Helen, were texting and saying, this is kind of a snooze fest. Like, this is getting kind of dull. Sweden looked pretty comfortable. Helen, you texted me saying, I feel like Sweden are basically just going to manage the game at 1-0. I agreed and also was like, could they benefit from a second one, though? Because this is kind of what Canada does.
You're spot on. And I think that Australia should have been lesson learned, really, because obviously they won that game 1-0 to get to the final. But Sweden were quite comfortable in that Australia game all in all. But then all it takes is like a Sam Kerr moment of genius. And in this game, all it would have taken or all it could have taken is a Christine Sinclair moment of genius. So they're 1-0, deservedly 1-0. They kind of knock it on the door. They're not really like battering the door down. And then the penalty came. For me, it wasn't a penalty. For me, you don't go in for that challenge. It wasn't a great move by Sweden, but I felt like it was silly for them to go into that challenge anyway, because I'm sorry, Canadian fans are going to hate me right now, but I'd be saying if I was the Sweden coach, or if I was in the Sweden dressing room, don't give them a set piece, because other than set pieces, Canada haven't had much luck. And not just at this tournament, but even in like the She Believes, in terms of their ability from open play, they're not really producing much. So I'd rather you give them a shot from inside the area than even touch them in the area and even risk giving a penalty away.
I kind of agree. I mean, before we get onto the penalty, I think that that's such a perfect, accurate assessment of kind of how these two teams have been throughout the tournament. Like, Canada their strength is in their back line. They have such strong defense in their back line and their midfield, I'll say. And that's their game plan. They know that they're going to play shutdown defense. They know that they're probably not going to let in more than one goal a game. So all they really have to do is hold on tight, hope that they get a goal on the counter, play really strong offensively. I mean, Nichelle Prince on the counter was just lethal all throughout this entire tournament. Like, they had an excellent counter, and that's their game. And so to give up a set piece to Canada is giving them quite a lot. Credit to Canada, though. Like, this is their game plan to shut down teams. They completely interrupted Sweden's flow. Sweden, who have been the best team in this tournament, who've been able to put away multiple goals in a game. I was watching this game, and I was trying to figure out, like, really what is it? How do they shut down these teams' offenses so well? And what they do is they basically make the other team play on like half of the field, and Sweden couldn't switch the ball. They were stuck on either the left half or the right half. And you look and you zoom out and you see all of their players just condensed in that little space. And Canada, as a defense, is able to essentially force them to play in 50% of the field, and then just clog the middle with their four midfielders. And it was really successful.
And I felt like, as well, like Sweden were trying to make one too many passes inside the area, when really towards the end, when it started to get frantic, they were just putting shots away as much as they could from anywhere. But there's one moment in particular where you just thought it was gifted to Aslani, and then she just took an extra touch. They made 3 touches in the penalty area, took them from right to left. So it was one pass in the area, one pass to the centre of the area, almost on the penalty spot, and then one pass out left to Aslani. All she had to do was swing at it, and you just felt like it was one pass too many. You just kind of like, they just kind of were overconfident in really, really tight areas of the pitch. And I just felt like, have a shot. I would be so frustrated if I was a Sweden fan, because they created so much in that first half, all the way up to the first goal. You just thought momentum has to carry you on to a second, maybe even a third here, Sweden. And they just didn't take it.
That's a great point. They didn't have any shots in the entire second half whatsoever.
So it's 1-0 to Sweden. You know that's what Canada are going to do. They are going to go for the set pieces. Did you think it was a penalty?
This is basically a question of, like, did she get the ball first or did she get her heel first? I couldn't tell. We didn't really get to see much of a replay from, like, when I was watching it in real time. I didn't think it was. I thought it was pretty nitpicky. I'm also just frankly kind of frustrated as a whole with VAR and how it's played out in basically all major tournaments since it's been around. And I just really can't stand that it's the deciding factor of games. But it is what it is, and I guess in this game it technically wasn't the deciding factor. I guess I'm dancing around saying, no, I would have preferred that to not be called, and I know that's going to piss off some Canadian fans. However, I will say, it did get called. That's the nature of the game, and Canada still had to put it away. And we, sorry to bring this up, Helen, but we've seen it. Just because you get a penalty kick doesn't mean you're going to put that away. So Jessie Fleming, again, Christine Sinclair takes the ball, again, hands it to Jessie Fleming, and Jessie Fleming is just like stone cold. She's taken 3 penalty kicks in the course of 2 games and put away all 3. That is absolutely incredible. And I think from that moment on, the momentum swung completely to Canada. They looked like they wanted it more. They looked like they were the ones who were fighting more for every 50-50 ball. Bev Priestling has instilled in this team a level of belief and confidence that has literally won them the gold medal. I think that is why they have won this gold medal. They played amazing. She coached amazing. She managed the team, the subs, and everything amazingly. But without that level of fight, they don't get to where they are.
Just quickly on the Jessie Fleming thing. Emma Hayes has got a tough decision to make this season for me. I just can't see how she can be ignored for much longer.
I totally agree. It's the detriment of having so many amazing players on your team. If you're Jessie Fleming and you know you're not going to get a starting position, do you try to go somewhere else?
I mean, that's the great thing as well about the WSL is that because of the size of the country, you can go on loan somewhere and you like sometimes you don't even have to move. So like she goes somewhere like Tottenham, she would be able to still stay in the same home and in the same environment, and she would be training not very far away and still have the same group of friends and stuff. So
I mean, she could even go to Man City, right? And take Sam Mewis's empty starting role right there.
Whoa, hell yeah. I think that she's just an absolute talent and one of the stars of the tournament for me.
I couldn't agree more. What's really cool is that she kind of got put on the map. I think that people, at least here in the U.S., who follow the NWSL and don't follow the WSL are now extremely aware of this major talent in the WSL that is Jessie Fleming. And I think it's really cool that she has now been put on the worldwide soccer map as opposed to the WSL map.
Hell yeah. We went into extra time 1-1. I think on the whole, because I haven't really said it yet, so I just want to emphasise, because I know the Canadian fans are probably going, oh, this is the most biased review ever, and I'm a big fan of Canada. Over the 90 minutes, that's fair. I think that 1-1 score is fair. I think that Sweden didn't do enough to make it 2 or 3-0, and they could have, and I think they'll regret that until the next major tournament comes along. And I think that Canada did enough to deserve it. You just talked about Nichelle Prince going down that right-hand side. I did not know she had that pace until this game. I know we saw glimpses of it, but she played out of her skin today.
I think that's such a fair assessment.
So, extra time. It was a cagey affair. It wasn't particularly entertaining. It was really cagey, nerve-wracking.
Until the last, 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden Sweden is just, knocking on the door. There was a moment in the last, 30 seconds where I swear I was like, the ball went over, the ball's about to go over the line. Sweden's about to win this, and somehow Canada clears it off the goal line. And I'm standing there, hands in the air, how the hell did that not go in?
Yeah, but I felt like the same. My stomach throughout the entire extra time was in knots. I can't even imagine being a fan of either country. And I my dad and I were texting each other, actually, and he was just like, I just hate penalties. And he's like, and I don't just hate it because, I'm English and we always lose them. He's like, I hate them as well because it's it's such an unfair way to go. It really is a gamble. It really is a roll of a dice, but not just for getting knocked out, for actually winning an entire tournament on penalties. That is absolutely gut-wrenching. And I think for anybody that didn't watch it, but I'm sure you all have, it went all the way to the 5.
And it was not a normal all the way to the 5. We weren't going make. It was like we're going to start off with a bang, we're going to start off with a miss, and then we got to make, and then there were 3 misses in a row by Canada. Oh my gosh, so many shots. One hit the post,
one hit the bar,
skies over. Yeah, it's so many misses, I will say. And this is no disrespect to any of the players, but as a whole, there were not a lot of great penalty kicks taken in that. A lot of the misses were because they weren't great shots. Either they were too savable or they literally went over or hit the post or whatever. But either way, absolutely wild penalty shootout. Canada at one point misses 3 in a row. Sweden at one point misses 3 in a row. Both keepers are coming up big. Some players are missing them wide. It's unbelievable. I feel we're just telling the story now.
So I heard that Sega has the most international caps of any player in Europe, men or women. So this is an experienced player stepping up basically to win the gold for Sweden. And you just think they've basically got the medal around their neck now. Sega stepping up. She's one of the most experienced players in world football. And she's had these moments before. They were in the semi-final 5 years ago. And so I just thought, basically it's Sweden's. And then it flies so far above the bar. You saw Hedvig Lindahl had her hands in prayer pose above her head, because I think she was just it's about to happen. It's about to happen because Caroline's stepping up. And I felt devastated for her because, you know, that's a veteran of women's football and she deserved it. I think that people talk about Christine Sinclair, and we will talk about Christine Sinclair. That is a veteran of women's football, is Sagan. That could be one of her last tournaments, and I just was devastated that she kind of lost it.
Yeah, it's a hard one. That's one that will live in her head for a long time, even though plenty of her teammates missed before that. And, you know, she was only part of a team that lost, but she was the one who had the opportunity to win the gold medal. Yeah, you hate to see it. We've all been there. And it's hard to watch.
So Canada win it with the 6th penalty. Absolutely devastating for Sweden. But 2 major highlights. Number 1, another women's team have won a major accolade. Another one added to the list, because you just want that, right? You know, we've got like the Germanys of the World Cup. We've got the USAs of the World Cup and the Olympics. It's so nice to have another country representing, you know, the top accolade in world football. And the second thing, the first ever non-binary athlete to win an Olympic medal, to win an Olympic gold medal.
That's so cool. I'm really glad you're calling that out. And I'm going to add a third, just because we're talking about veterans and you called her out earlier. This is Christine Sinclair's probably last tournament. This is the first time in her Canadian career that she's won a major tournament.
I just got shivers. Like, actually, my arm is goose pimples.
The moment Canada put that last penalty away, you kind of saw it on their faces, where it was like so much joy and also just like equivalent amounts of shock of just like, did that actually happen? Like, did this just happen? Did we just win? Like, Christine Sinclair's eyes got huge and they just went like, she just walked around the field hugging everybody, being like, oh my God. And it was just a beautiful moment. It was going to be a beautiful moment either way, because both teams have those veterans that really deserve it and have never gotten it. So cool for Canada. To touch on Sweden really quickly again, another silver medal. Another. Is there something going on? Is there a reason why Sweden can't seem to put like a full, complete tournament together?
Do you know what? I was going to bring this up in light of our semi-final episode, in light of our GB exit episode as well, about mentality. And in a way, I'm really disappointed, because obviously I called Sweden to win it at the beginning of this tournament. And I really felt like
I'm so sorry you didn't get your money, love.
I know, I lost. I mean, a lot. People lost a lot more today than me and my £58 or whatever it was. Yeah. But I did bet £5 on Sweden to win, so I am a bit gutted. I feel like the mentality thing is huge for Sweden. And I really hope that going into the Euros next year, they kind of, you know, grit their teeth and just push that extra millimetre to get themselves over the line. Not at the detriment of England, of course. No, but I really feel like they're one of the world's best, that they are probably second in the world or third in the world behind the Netherlands now. So they are hot on the tails of those giants of women's football. And I just think a little hard push on mentality, and they could have taken it.
So huge for Canada. I have to add in this one piece, because I'm genuinely happy for Canada, even though Canada knocked the US out. I am so genuinely happy for my neighbors up north and all of you fans. It was an incredible game. Canada pushed through, put so much heart into this, and it was just an absolutely incredible finish. I said in my tweet, so happy for Canada and Christine Sinclair. Now sell those Canada jerseys and tag Canadian Soccer. And I just want to point out for all of you, if you want to go to the Canadian Soccer website and buy a women's national team jersey, you cannot. If you want to buy a Christine Sinclair jersey, you cannot. And I sincerely hope, because that is a huge problem for so many reasons, I sincerely hope that this is a huge turning point in Canadian women's soccer, and the Federation starts to invest a little more in terms of marketing, in terms of merchandise, in terms of viewership, putting them on TV more. I sincerely hope that this is the kick in the butt that they need, because they absolutely, of course they deserve it, and they've always deserved it, but maybe this is the kick in the butt that the Federation needs.
Do you know where you can get a Canadian women's jersey? Foudies.com.
Foudies.com.
Oh, a little extra advert in there.
I love it.
Yeah, it is a huge problem, and I don't want to go, it's really boring, but basically they're one of the only nations that doesn't provide the lettering either. So, like, they've got really cool, unique lettering, and it's just like, you could be making a buck right now, Canada, if you were willing to actually produce these bits of plastic vinyl. They're like, it's not expensive to create this stuff, and it would be a game changer for them. But let's go on to probably the highlight match of this round of the bronze and gold medal match, because the USA versus Australia match was juicy.
Oh, I don't think we can call it a highlight, mate. I don't think we can call it a highlight.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, I mean, it was super fun, but I feel like the highlight was the gold medal.
I think, okay.
But this is, okay, everybody,
debate
hold
number
on
one's
tight, 'cause
happening.
Yeah, we're
I'm not
about
being
to jump
funny.
into a lot of debates.
We've got world-class goals. We've got the almost comeback. We've got some of the best strikers. I'm going to put it out there. One of the games of the whole tournament for me.
There were a lot of amazing goals in there. Every goal in this game was a beautiful, stunning, like, golazo.
Yes.
Your Instagram story was hilarious. Whoever was commentating, whatever you were watching, the commentary was just like, goal. And it
Did
just
you like
went
it
on and on and on
between
and on.
me and you, me and the screen? I really wish I'd like got a cup of tea and been like stirring a tea, just like, oh my god, it was like, honestly, he was going 7 times. This guy had to do it 7 times. Go,
yeah.
And like it was 35 seconds, literally just watching it in silence. Like, what?
It's impressive in itself. This game, 4-3 United States. U.S. takes the bronze medal. I have so much to say. I know Helen does. We're going to try to keep it short because we had about a 30-minute debate on the last episode about the U.S., so we will keep this shorter. Quick question, though. 7 goals in this game. What was your favorite one?
Obviously, the Rapinoe goal on the volley. No doubt in my mind.
Oh, on the volley? I didn't know if you meant the corner kick, because the corner kick was pretty sweet, too.
I think that was a bit of a cock-up, I'm not going to lie, from Australia. Like, I think that you should be saving.
But she still hit it perfectly.
Oh, she did. And my God, she just has such flair about her as a player. Like, Rapinoe is just such a flair player. She's just got confidence in abundance. But for me, 100%, who has the audacity to take a shot on the volley from a mistaken clearance?
The volley was my favorite one too.
That is the goal of the tournament, no doubt for me, and if not, potentially one of the goals of 2021 so far for me.
It was really pretty. It was beautiful. Yeah, I'm just smiling so big. It was fucking gorgeous. Sorry, Mom. There needed to be an emphasis on that. It was fucking gorgeous.
You said the F word. You disgust me.
Oh my goodness. I said it twice.
I feel like overall in the game it was super open, but it didn't need to be. Like, it slightly showed USA's weaknesses again. So many goals, but...
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It was super fun. I mean, it was such a fun game because it was such an open game. And I was sitting there watching and I was like, how many goals are there going to be in this game? Because we could start running them up right now. Both teams definitely exposed for their weak defense, just on either side. Strong forwards, weak defense on both sides, and it made for a fun game for all of us to watch. I will say I think the U.S. controlled the game, up until the waning minutes, unfortunately. And I think the reason for that is they were finally able to really lock down and control the midfield. They no longer started pulling somebody back onto defense. They just let some goals in and tried to score some more than they let in, and they ended up winning. I will say I also think Australia, as we've touched on, were just exhausted, and it really showed. But my gosh, that team has a lot of heart. And in those waning minutes, Alex Morgan gets hurt. Vlatko does not put in an 11th player, doesn't sub anybody on for those extra moments in stoppage time. I was sitting on the edge of my couch like, this can't be what's happening. This can't be how we go into overtime. This can't be it. Luckily, we were able to pull it through. It all worked out. But to go into Australia first, because I know we're going to have a lot to say about the U.S., they look like they are going to be so dangerous in 2023. You look at the 3 subs they brought on, and they were all like 19 years old, maybe 18 and 19, maybe 19 and 20. They were all around 19 years old. So young, so good, so talented. You see that younger crop coming up. You look at Sam Kerr in that whole age bracket, and they're still pretty young, and in 2 years, they'll still be in their prime. And when you combine those two things, oh my goodness, they are going to be so fun to watch at home in their home stadium with their home fans in 2023 World Cup. That that was my huge takeaway about Australia at the end of this game. They were even able to get some goals out of people other than Sam Kerr, which I was happy about too.
Do you know what's so funny as well? Literally, because as a neutral, I was just watching it for pure enjoyment. I really didn't kind of have a team. But one of the things was, every time something happened, apparently I made this noise, hee 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 hee. Like every so Rapinoe scored from the corner, I went hee 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 hee. And then a few minutes later, she scored on the volley and I was like hee hee. Apparently it was like a weird, consistent noise I was making throughout the game. Like throughout, it's one of those games where you were just like, it was just so enjoyable as a neutral that I just was smiling and going,
it was juicy.
It was such a good game.
It was a juicy, juicy game. I feel like I've said a lot of things I need to say about the USA, and I feel like you maybe have more outstanding things to say. So I'm actually going to throw it to you, Helen, in a bit of a curveball. Do you have anything to say about the USA in this game or moving forward?
They deserve to win in this game. They got what they deserved in the bronze medal match, and I think that they'll quite happily draw a line under this tournament. I think it's probably time Carly Lloyd retires and goes off to a hut in the middle of wherever she wants to go to in Utah or something, and packs in social media for a while. But all in all, a deserved win today.
I'd agree. It was fun to see them play with joy and just like freedom, and I think that that's why they won. And make no mistake, a bronze medal is a great finish. I think that, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. A bronze medal is a great finish, especially considering the struggle that they went through in this tournament to try to find something to hold on to and something to drive them forward to play, how they know they can play. And they were able to find it in the last game. And
yeah, a disastrous tournament that they managed to get a bronze out of is not all bad. Like other countries would take that in a heartbeat. I know GB would take that in a heartbeat, and probably the Netherlands would be, smiling with a bronze medal. So it's not all doom and gloom. You've spoken about, like the tournaments or the success that the US have had in the past. And for me, I think that, the 7th of July 2019 was the dawning of a new age when it came to women's football. I don't think there's ever been a time more crucial to women's football than 2019 July 7th to today in 2021. This has been the biggest 2 years in the history of women's football, bigger than when we got the right to play again in 1970, bigger than the banning in 1921. This last 2 years has changed the face of women's football, and I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I think the proof is probably in the fact that I'm sitting here now full-time running a women's football business, which is just unfeasible in 2015, 2017, or 2019. It just wouldn't have been possible. But there is a market now. It is popular, and players have become athletes and Olympians. Whereas before they were semi-professional, part-time PE teachers. I remember I used to love this player called Claire Rafferty, who played for Chelsea, and she worked for Deutsche Bank at the same time as being a right back for Chelsea, and they were winning the league, the WSL. This was only, a few years ago. People know this is a famous women's player from like 4 years ago. The world it's not 2018 anymore. It's not 2019 anymore. 2021, everybody now, the peak is actual Olympian athletes. And I felt like this was the first time at this tournament that we saw true Olympians going up against each other. This was like full-time professional athletes with nutritionists and with coaches and with goalkeeping coaches and with proper hotels, with proper transport, with all of that stuff. And I think it's the first time we've ever seen them all match up.
For the most part, I think that that's a really great point. And I would say, like, for the most part, in the span of teams that extends to is getting bigger, which is what we want, which is what you're talking about. Before, maybe it was just like the U.S. players in Germany who are getting it. And now we're seeing, GB's getting it, Canada's getting it, Sweden's getting it. However it felt, like whoever was first to get it, now we're seeing more and more and more teams getting it. Zambia's still not quite there. Like, there's still a ways to go, but this has been a huge expansion, and and it will only continue, which is what we want.
I think you would say Zambia would have been the Thailand of the 2019 World Cup. But between 2019 and 2021, I guarantee that Thailand would not be losing that game against the USA in the fashion that they did. And so it comes kind of back full circle, I think, of all of the teams in international football at the top level between place number 1 and place number 15, the slowest transitional international team, and you know what's coming, is the USA. I think they've made the least waves in terms of world football, in terms of like star kids coming through and getting their opportunities. You know, we talk Lauren Hemp, we talk Hannah Bennison, we talk Carpenter last week, we talk Jessie Fleming. These are all star kids coming through for their international teams, getting that opportunity on the world stage. We talk about infrastructure, and we talk about 8 of the 11, starting lineup for GB have world-class, not just world-class facilities. I'm talking like, heat rooms where they go in and their body temperature goes down to -15 or whatever. Like, these are professional athletes at the very top of their game. And all that will happen is that they will chip away and chip away and chip away at the USA until there is a realization that in order to be at the absolute peak of women's football now in 2021, you have to be playing at elite level constantly. You have to be challenging yourself constantly in the major tournaments, in my opinion, of course.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. Of course, you always need to be challenging yourself. I think that the level of competition is being raised across the board, and I think that that's fantastic. I think that some people have a misconception that we're seeing like a demise of a dynasty right now. And I just want to completely discredit that opinion here on this podcast right now, because I think it's utter bullshit. Like, I have so many things to point to. The USA have been considered a dynasty through the course of time, not just since 2019, not just since 2015. They've been considered a dynasty for a very long time. And there were a lot of years in between them winning major tournaments. Like, there was 91, then there was 99, then there was 2015, and then there was 2019. They didn't win every major tournament. They didn't win it every single time. There always was competition. So I think that it's this misconception that they were like never challenged. They've always walked everything. That's not the case. All that's happening is that now competition's coming from a lot more different places than it was before. So it's not the demise. We got a bronze. Nobody has ever won the World Cup and then turned around and won a gold medal. Never in the history of the game has anybody done that. And we didn't do it either. And the next 2 years of the U.S. are going to be absolutely crucial. I am not denying that. There needs to be a huge overhaul. There needs to be a ton of new talent from the NWSL brought in that has been growing and fostering and will be so, so good. And that will happen. Just like what happened in 2015. We won the World Cup. We went to Rio. We got absolutely slaughtered. We lost to Sweden. We got knocked out. We didn't even get a medal. And then there was a huge overhaul. And guess who got brought in? Sam Mewis, Lindsey Horan, Rose Lavelle, Abby Dahlkemper. Like, it was an overhaul, and they took those 2 or 3 years to change and come back stronger, and that's what's going to happen. Mic drop, move on.
I love it. You're wanting to move on because you
No,
want
you go ahead.
I think it's really interesting because I see it as like Alex Ferguson's just left Manchester United, and Manchester United fans, it's going to be okay, we'll just like spend all this money and we'll just, change the game. But actually at the same time, Manchester City were just coming through with their tons of money and their infrastructure change. And Tottenham had just sold and Tottenham had just sold Gareth Bale, and they were buying £1 million players, and all of a sudden there was another player in the top 6. And then Liverpool came back from nowhere, and they were all of a sudden like challenging for the top of the table. Manchester United like, what's going on? But we are, in your words, the dynasty of English football. We are, 20 times we've won the title 20 times. We're the greatest people ever. And actually, when there are infrastructure changes in the sport, the world's changed. 2015, 2017. So when you guys won the World Cup in 2015, then you went on and had a terrible Olympics in Rio. I couldn't watch that on TV, dude. I couldn't have watched that 2015 game on TV. This is a different world. 2019, to 2021 is a different world. I personally think that I really hope that there is somebody within the US camp that agrees with me, because if they don't, then I think it is the Alex Ferguson leaving Manchester United.
I think that everybody agrees that this is a different world and competition is getting stronger everywhere. Absolutely. And that's only good for women's football.
It is only good for women's football.
Onward.
And we have a new winner. Isn't this great?
We have a new winner. Congratulations, Canada. I wish I'd gone to watch the medal ceremony, though. I wanted to see them get their golds, and I really also wanted to see like a tipsy U.S. team there to receive their bronze medals, because you know that they were just like having a party all day before they had to go to the stadium.
Oh, you know it. And you got Christy Mewis and you've got Sam Kerr arm in arm drinking beers.
Sam Kerr's an honorary member coming to celebrate.
Yeah, I was like, why are you celebrating the bronze medal? Why are you celebrating the bronze medal, Sam? What's going on, Sam? Why are you in America, Sam?
What are you doing in the U.S.? What's going on over
there?
Sam?
You're
Well,
Australian,
for all of
aren't
you
you?
who know what we're talking about. For all of you who know what we're talking about, take a minute to ponder it while we head to this quick advertisement from our partners at Total Football Analysis.
Have you checked out Total Football Analysis yet? TotalFootballAnalysis.com provides researched analysis on loads of football games, including women's football. Want to know why Miedemar scores so many goals? Do you want to explore how City have turned it around this season? Head over to TotalFootballAnalysis.com and sign up to learn more about the beautiful game. We have a special discount for listeners of the Women's Soccer Show. At checkout, type WOSO10 to get a full year for €10. That's €40 off the yearly subscription. Head over to TotalFootballAnalysis.com and type WOSO10 at checkout.
Thank you to all of you who submitted your brackets for our partnership with Total Football Analysis. Our partners at Total Football Analysis are the ones who are going to go through that and mark up all the tallies, mark up all the points, and announce the winner. We will keep you updated on social as for who wins that bracket. It's got to be a Canada fan, right?
Safe to say I lost.
Yeah. It's safe to say, well, you definitely landed higher in points than I did.
Yeah, I think so. Just about.
Yeah. Well, that brings us on very neatly to our predictions that we made in our preview episode, Helen. Golden Boot, Golden Glove, and Golden Medal.
Shower? What?
What?
Inappropriate joke.
Golden Boot.
So, smashed it out of the park with my Golden Boot. Miedemar got 10 goals, as many goals as Carly Lloyd's got in her whole career in the Olympics. Sorry, I went there again. And tell me, Golden Glove, would it be Stephanie LeBay? Has she got Golden Glove then?
I don't know. I was trying to Google it because, again, I didn't get to watch the ceremony afterwards, which I was disappointed about. I don't know who gets the Golden Glove. So LeBay ended up letting in 3 goals, and Lindahl ended up letting in 3 goals throughout the course of the entire tournament. And then they went to penalty kicks.
They both let in 1.
Does the Golden Glove literally go to penalty kicks? Like, LeBay let in 1 fewer penalty kick in this final game than Lindahl did, so she gets the gold. Like, how does this? I don't know.
Whoa. I don't know how it works, but we'll
man.
report back. But at the end of the day,
We'll
Sarah
report.
lost. That's all we know. And then the final 2 teams, we both got it wrong. Why does anyone listen to this bloody show? We got it wrong.
We both got it right. My
I said
goodness.
Sweden, Netherlands in the final. You said Brazil, USA in the final. I think I put a little amber little symbol over Sweden because they did almost win. I mean,
For those of you who don't know what Helen's talking about her amber little symbol, we have a little document and we just highlight the team red when they got knocked out. So obviously,
like, bye-bye.
Everybody is highlighted red, but she refuses to highlight Sweden.
So
red.
I've highlighted them orange. That's my way of going, I kind of won, but I didn't. I didn't win. I didn't win.
Me.
I lost.
I'll give you that. You won against me.
Well, that is something. Guys, England won something this tournament. Yay!
You've let a head coach go who was native to England, born there, and you've let her go coach a different national team, and look what she's done for them. She's gotten them a gold medal.
I know, it makes me sick. Our federation is just
what a beautiful
awful.
tournament, though.
Loved it.
Absolutely beautiful tournament. As much as you've had heartbreak, how have you really felt? Have you really been sad this entire time? How have you felt about this tournament?
I've got one sentence to say, so don't worry, I'll keep it short and sweet. This is the best standard of women's football I have seen to date. And the second best standard was the 2019 Women's World Cup. So we know which direction we're going in. The only way is up. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I can beat that. Oh, yeah. That had some soul in it. That came from your gut.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. It was a beautiful tournament. It was really fun to watch. So many fun games. I flashed back to the quarterfinals when we had 4 games. 3 of them went into extra time. Just fun. Lots of fun. Lots of heartbreak, but that's soccer. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and following along the Olympics with us. This has been an absolute blast.
Yeah, it really has. Thank you so much.
We're starting to lose our minds, so maybe it's a good thing that this is the final episode.
It's probably for the best. It's probably for the best that we stop now.
So don't forget to check our socials. If you submitted a bracket, check our socials. We will be announcing the winner along with Total Football Analysis. I think that's pretty much it. I was going to say check our socials from when this episode drops, but they will be listening to this episode, so there's really no reason to say that.
Wow. We're really good at what we do. 7 episodes in, you'd think we would like have this by now, but no. We're still scrambling around in the dark.
We're like the U.S. in the bronze medal game right now. We're just feeling free and flowing.
When are we going to come into our own?
Bringing some joy to this game. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I've been Helen.
I've been Sarah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.